Yo, what's popping, guys and girls? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to share with you guys my first impressions on Mortal Online 2. So this game is developed by Star Vault Games in Sweden, and it's a hardcore MMO PvP game, which you drop your loot when you die from other players, so they can basically steal all your gear and all your stuff in your bags, and it's a really cool system, and I think it adds a lot of replayability because, well, I've already died over 10 times, and also your horse has the same system. Like, players can kill your horse, and then you got to go out and retame a horse and all that. So, I'm on like horse number 12 as well. So basically that can take you a couple hours replacing your horse in this game. And ultimately, it's basically like, I could describe this game basically as Skyrim meets Ark meets basically any MMO. Like, it's a combination of almost everything you want from a survival game as well as an MMO put into one hardcore experience, and I really like it. So the skill system has 1200 skill points for your professions, and basically you have to pick and choose, so you can't master everything in this game. If you want to be a plate armor crafter, it's going to take you about 400-500 points just to be able to create the best plate armor in the game. So basically you got to spend your points wisely, and the same thing goes for your action skills, which are like basically your running, your resting, your mana, your range combat, melee combat, all of those things. You have to basically build your character. If you're going to be an archer, if you're going to be a mage, if you're going to be, say, a paladin hybrid, you have to build right from the get-go because you only have 1100 skill points in your action skill tree. And so that's more forgiving, or not, that's less forgiving than your profession skill tree. So make sure you spend those ones wisely, because ultimately you don't want to end up in a situation where you've spent 200 hours on a character and then you got to reset it, because that would be a pain in the ass. Anyway, besides for the skill tree system, I think the game looks beautiful and it runs really well. So it uses Unreal Engine 4, and then it will be upgrading the Unreal Engine 5 upon a stable release for the build of Unreal Engine. So the graphics look really good, and ultimately it's going to get better for graphics. So I'd say this is probably a game that you want to have high up on your list in 2022, because so long as they keep pushing updates for the game and they fix the current issues they have with the game, which basically, if you buy the game, don't expect to actually be able to play the game currently, because there is a massive server queue issue in which anyone that queues into the server basically can't get into the server unless they wait like 12 to 14 hours. Like, currently, just to make this review, I have 830 minutes played, which is almost 13-14 hours, which means, chances are if you go and queue up the game at 8 in the morning, you're not going to be able to play, like, at all that day. Like, I had to load this game at 12:30 at night and sacrifice sleeping just to be able to get this review out for you guys, because, I want to get content out the door, and so you guys know what to expect when it comes to this game, essentially. And if you guys want, I will be making crafting guides. I will be making guides on how to farm gold and what to do in the game. If you guys, would like to see that, make sure you leave a like on the video, as well as you leave suggestions down below on what you would like to see for this game in the near future. But ultimately, I believe this game is worth the $40 as well as the $15 a month monthly fee, especially because they plan on adding features such as ships and, other things that are really big currently in the MMO community, I would say, because, Ashes of Creation and a bunch of other top MMO games that are coming out soon plan on having ships and all these cool features. This game actually features keeps already, which keeps are these massive structures out in the open world, and I've actually seen them before, and I've seen one built, and basically you need like 100-200 people in a guild to be able to build these, because they cost 5,000 gold, and then you need like, I think it was 800 kilograms of stone, and then 800 kilograms of wood, etc. 1,200 kilograms of metal, I'm pretty sure. And for example, your character can only carry 65 kilograms worth of weight. So 800, that's like 8 trips of you legging it back and forth from the mountain with the ore, just to be able to build a keep yourself. On top of, you have to have 5,000 gold, right? And chances are, if you're carrying 5,000 gold alone as a player, someone's going to kill you, and then you're going to lose that gold, and then you got to grind that all over again from, start zero, scratch zero. So basically, in order to get a keep in this game, in order to build the big structures, you're going to want to end up getting a guild or friends to group up together and band together. That way it's easier in the game. Your horse can carry up to, I believe, me and my brother discovered it the other day. It was 450 kilograms roughly on your horse. So that combined with your player weight, it's still not enough to even do one trip of how much wood you need to build a keep. So, a lot of this game is playing with others and banding up with others and forming a guild and then competing in guild wars. And it's not just a soloable game. There is content for players that like to compete in guilds and all that. And they said that they plan on adding siege warfare, like siege equipment, so that way you can actually like destroy the keeps and take them over yourself. That way, if someone has already built a keep out in the world, you can go and take that keep. And much like the keeps, there's also a housing system, and the housing system is actually like soloable content where you can go out and build your own house. But the same thing, players can steal and like raid your house, and they can break in and like kill you and then steal your shit and all that. So the game is very deadly. Make sure you log out in a city at all times, because actually, here's the thing, when you log out in a city, make sure you log out in the city and remove all your gear and put it into the bank, because there is this one time I AFK'd in the city and I got killed in the city with guards. And the city is the only safe place with guards, so to say, but I still got killed. So make sure you always are aware that you can get killed anywhere, including in the city in this game. And I really like that about it, because, I think it adds a lot of, replayability once again, because you constantly have to re-get your stuff, like your gear, your gold, over and over every time you die in this game. But anyway, I'd say that's probably it for the review, boys. I think it's worth it. Right now, there's a bunch of systems in the game. Oh, yeah. Your clad is like you're leveling up in the game. The game doesn't feature levels, but it features clad gifts, and your clad gifts are basically when you go and kill like undead in the game or something, you gain clad gift XP, and these are your racials which you can unlock, and certain races have certain clads and then you unlock bonuses. For example, the first one for humans is your book reading speed is increased by 20%, which is like really useful because, for instance, it takes 48 hours just to learn the maximum crafting skill from the book of Kindremic guard armor, and you can raise it from crafting it yourself, but there's some books that you actually have to read out entirely on its own, because there is nothing that you can craft for that book. You actually have to just read the book. So ultimately, your clad gifts depend on your race, and choose them wisely, because you're not going to be able to reset your clad gift. At least as of right now, I do not believe there is a way. So if you want to, switch a build later on with clad gifts, well, then you're kind of screwed. You have to go off and make another character. So once again, choose wisely with your skills in this game, as well as your clad gifts and stuff like that, because it will punish you if you don't. And also, there's things like, a weight system, a hunger and thirst system in the game. There's a lot of hardcore mechanics. I definitely recommend reading up on a guide if you do plan on buying the game. And also, as I said, if you do plan on buying the game, probably wait off a week or 2 weeks, because currently there's a queue system, like error problem in the game that you can't, really get in the game reliably. So, I wouldn't want people to go off and spend their money like I have and then not be able to even play the game most of the time, because that's definitely been the case for me and my brother, who, is sitting in queue behind me on the laptop. Like, he's not in the room, but the laptop's in queue on his account. So if you want to play the game reliably, I'd say hold off for about half a month or so, maybe even a month. Like, just keep an update or keep an eye on the game and keep watch for the updates that come out for the queue. And if it ends up getting fixed, then I'd say go ahead and buy the game, because it's a really fun game. I have 139 hours total on Steam, and I'd say probably 60 to 70 hours of that is actual in-game time playing, so it's definitely worth the money, and you will end up getting your time well spent here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave any suggestions you have down below, and leave a like on the video, subscribe for more content, and peace out.